Hello everyone, this is Nick from HF Survival School and thank you very much for joining me. Today I want to show you the difference, the pros and the cons for a $50 knife sharpener and a $400 knife sharpener. First of all, apologies for my voice. I have the virus, so that's why we are at home and we are filming from my living room. Here are some custom knives, all made by me, and to sharpen on the $400 knife sharpener I'll be sharpening this brand new knife which I just finished. It is Mosaic Damascus, Mammoth Molar or Tooth and Mammoth Ivory handle. This blade doesn't only need sharpening, but it also needs to put a brand new edge on it. As you see, it doesn't have an edge, so it will be a lot of work and it will be a great test to test the capabilities of the $400 knife sharpener. I have a variety of stones. Now the machine costs a bit cheaper than $400, but with all of the add-ons it sums up to $400. And to sharpen on the entry-level knife sharpener, I'll be sharpening this knife, this Pulco style knife, which is also made by me. This is the first birch bark knife that I have ever made, so it is in a pretty rough shape. After using it, as you see, it has a bit of rolled over edge after a lot of use, so this will be a good test for the cheap knife sharpener to put a nice edge on it as well. So this is Worksharp Precision knife sharpener. It costs, at the point of making this video, $50, $49.99. So it has a plastic construction. It has a nice grippy stand. It has adjustable angle on top. You can adjust from 15 to 30 degrees. As you see, it is very easy to adjust. Over here it has a swivel which allows the rod to move freely in all directions. This is the knife mount. It goes like this, and when you have to turn around the knife, you just turn around the clamp. To clamp the knife, first you have to twist this wheel. This allows the clamp to open up. As you see, it has a notch right here, and you try to center your knife in that notch. Clamp it, twist this wheel. This locks the clamp inside, and this allows, you tighten it very good, and this allows for a very secure clamp. Put the knife inside like this, and when you have to sharpen the other side, you just turn around the clamp like this. This sharpening system has 3 stones, 2 diamond stones and 1 ceramic stone. The first one is 320 grit, then 600 grit, and then I think the ceramic is 800 or 1000 maximum, something like that. So let's start with the 320 grit. On this knife I know that I need 20 degrees, so I'll adjust it to 20 degrees and start sharpening. To do sharpening, you hold it like this and you do any kind of back and forth motion. We'll do like this or like this or circular motions. It really doesn't matter. It sharpens it all the way anyway. After you think you are done on one side, you turn around the clamp and move on the other side. When you're done with 320 grit, then you move up to 600. Then we move to the ceramic stone and finish the blade with that. Then when I'm done with whatever sharpening method I use, I usually strop the blade. I use this Yellowstone compound, which gives great sharpening results for a bit over 6 or 7 years that I have been using it. Just like that, we have a beautiful edge. It should be able to shave, as you see. It shaves. This is pretty enough for basically everyday use and outdoor use for me, and I'm guessing for 99% of people as well, because it shaves, it cuts very well, it has a nice mirror polish, so it is pretty enough. But obviously, if you are a knife nut, this is not enough for you, and that's when we bring in the big boys toy, which is the TS Prof Cadet. This is my TS Prof Cadet, my go-to sharpening system for all of my custom knives. For example, this knife with Damascus blade and ivory handle is sharpened on this. As you see, it has a beautiful real mirror polish. I use this machine to sharpen all of my knives, and it came with 5 diamond stones, which were 150 grit, 220 grit, 400 grit, 600 grit and 1000 grit. These are great diamond stones which have made a lot of great edges for me. I also have the good thing about this system is that the sharpening stones are interchangeable, because a lot of manufacturers use this kind of mounting option. Therefore, my Edge Pro sharpening stones also fit this TS Prof Cadet. And with the Edge Pro, I had the synthetic whetstones, and those worked very good. Also, they had this kind of aluminum plate, which allows for sticky sandpaper on it. This is 3000 and 2000 grit, and this gives great results as well. So here I have my 3 synthetic whetstones from Edge Pro and 2 stones from TS Prof. This is a coarse 150 grit boride whetstone, which is very thick, and I went with this thick stone because I usually have to put a lot of edges, for example on the Mammoth Ivory Mosaic Damascus knife, which we will sharpen now, which doesn't have an edge, so that's why I went with this stone. And I also got their synthetic 400 grit stone from TS Prof. So I have them in water so that they can soak in. Now we can take the knife and clamp it inside the sharpener, but to protect the Mosaic Damascus, I will be using masking tape. You need to make sure that this blade part is parallel to this. So I will put this as tight as possible. My blade also allows me to have flat surface beneath this second clamp as well. This seems okay, but let's go up a bit more to 18 degrees. Now I'm putting on the first edge, that's why it matters so much for me to determine what angle to sharpen this on, while in your case you won't be making a first bevel, therefore it will be more easy for you to compensate for the thickness of the stones. TS Prof has this kind of clever thing where this rod goes up and down. I just put the stone in between here and we are all set, and we are good to go. Half hour later we achieved the burr. Now I will move to 400 grit. First we have to compensate the thickness of the stone, which we will do right here. Now we have compensated for the stone and we are ready to move on to 400 grit. Oh, there's the first cut. Accidentally. Be careful, because this sharpener gives unbelievable results. As you see, a slight cut and we sliced our finger right away. Let's turn around the knife and continue on this side. So after finishing with the 3000 grit sandpaper, then I used the leather strop, and that gave us the final mirror polish. Now let's do the test. Oof. As usual, as you see, it just pops hair. It pops, it doesn't shave, it pops hair. So yeah. Amazing. Let's even out on the second hand as well. Nothing's a better feeling than popping hair with your knife. Here is both knives. You can see the difference of the finish on the edges. This one has a nice sharp edge, but this one has a pure mirror, as you can see. Let's cut the paper with the buko. As you see, it has a nice edge. It shaves paper good, but it has that kind of rough sound. Now compare that to the TS Prof sharpening. You can see the cut is more clean. It has more finer sound, which tells that it is way more sharp, doing some very fine carving. As you can see, you cannot even compare the sharpness on these two knives. This one is way superior. Now that you have seen both of them in work, let's talk about the pros and cons. Well, let's start with the work sharp. Obviously, the biggest pro is that it is cheap. $50 for what you are getting is an amazing price. I really like the angle adjustment because it is very easy. Just turn this wheel and you adjust. I also like that it comes with 3 stones, and as I saw, there is also an upgrade kit available. Work sharp precision. Rocco doesn't like the upgrade kit, as we hear. With the upgrade kit, it costs like $120. I will put link down in the description. I'm not affiliated with by any means. It will be just regular Amazon links. The cons. The first con that I would say is that since I'm used to this kind of sharpening rods holding a ball, like on this Edge Pro as well, it makes it very easy to do the sharpening motion. But with this is really kind of strange, you know, it doesn't feel that comfortable. I find myself that I cannot do regular motions constantly. I usually change motions, and sometimes it is harder to put a flat surface, to put the stone flat on the edge. I find myself sometimes moving it a little bit left or on the right. That's probably because it is quite narrow. Other than that, I also really like that you can turn it around, so you don't need to remove the blade. Therefore, it gives a precise edge on both sides. The thing that I don't like is that you are pretty limited with the size of the knife you can sharpen on this machine. When it comes to, for example, knives like this, Victorinox, I found it quite tricky to hold it in the clamp, because it really wants to move around, and it really does move around all the time. So in that case I have to hold it with my hand as well. So this is not as versatile, therefore you are limited with what kind and how much knives you can sharpen with this kit. Now let's move the pros. The pros is the versatility of the stones you can use on this is just amazing. It's the biggest pro there is. You can use diamond stones, synthetic stones, natural stones, you can get Arkansas stones, you can add leather strops. It is very, very, very versatile. Also, another thing that I really, really like is the size of the clamps. So, for example, if you want to sharpen a huge chef knife, this sharpening system allows that to do that. Also, they have a lot of variety of different kind of clamps, smaller ones, bigger ones, mono clamps, double clamps. You can get as much clamps as you want. They have huge variety of that. Also, I like the bigger range of angles with this, so you can adjust from quite a low angle to quite steep angle, and the adjustment system I also like. It is very easy to move it up and down. Also, I really like the stone compensation, so that, for example, if this was fixed like this, then you would need to compensate in some other way, and that would be not as precise, and this kind of adjustment for the stone thickness is very good. Other than that, I don't know what more to say. I just love it. If you are a knife maker, you have to have this, because it puts on edges very precisely, and for example, on this kind of knife I would not touch any other sharpening system other than this. Now let's talk about the cons on the TS Prof. To be really honest, to not be biased, and to be like honest from my heart, the only con that I can find on this kit is that it is quite expensive. $400, well, it costs like $370, but with the add-on of the stones it adds up to $400. $400 is a lot of money, but you are getting a sharpening kit that will last you all your life. I'm not being paid by TS Prof. This is my unbiased opinion. I also have you guys have seen my previous sharpening video where I compared the Work Sharps, the Edge Pros, the Tormek, all of that stuff. If you don't know, also check that video out, where I talk about different kind of sharpening systems, and I show my experience, because I'm very experienced, to be honest, in sharpening, because I had a sharpening business, plus I make knives. Therefore I sharpen, I don't know, I have sharpened more than 2000 knives in my lifetime, so I have my humble opinion, and I say everything based on my experience. I would recommend this workshop to anyone that has a lot of pocket knives, that wants good sharpening results and cannot do a lot of sharpening by hand, freehand, on stones, who has outdoor knives this size, not big, large ones. So basically for everyone who has kind of average size knives, average size folding knives, average size grits, average types of blade geometry. For example, if you have some kind of tricky geometry, you will have trouble sharpening with it. So for all kind of people, I can recommend this. The TS Prof I can recommend to anyone who can afford it. Like, if you can afford it, no doubt about it. Like, whenever I would have money, I would buy this, no problems, no doubt about it. They have great warranty, they have just a great product. I cannot say really anything bad about it, other than it's quite expensive. If you are making knives, I highly recommend this, because I don't know how you are, but with my knives, whether it will be an entry-level $200 knife, or whether it will be a knife with Damascus mosaic, regular Damascus mammoth ivory handle knife, or whether it will be a mosaic Damascus mammoth ivory knife, which costs a lot of money. For this kind of knife, you really need a precise knife sharpener, and you really need that good results, because this kind of knife cannot have any kind of flaws and any kind of defects and any kind of errors, because it is a very high-end collectible knife. So I will include links to both items down in the description. You should definitely check them out. I recommend both. Also check out my previous sharpening video, because I recommend a lot of good stuff over there as well. Of course, since then, with these new machines, my opinions have changed a little bit, but that is also a very informative video about different sharpening systems. So thank you very much for watching. Please click the subscribe icon, click that bell icon next to it, share this video, comment down below your thoughts, and stay safe in these hard times. God bless, and I will see you next time, hopefully in the outdoors. Cheers.